8 years ago, I hurt someone. She was a good friend of mine for many years, and for a long time I wasn't being honest with myself about what I did to her, and I did not want to accept my wrongdoing. I have no excuses, I betrayed her, and in the years that followed, it haunted me, it controlled my life. By making this one mistake, I had made a decision. And now I had to stick to it because if I did not stick to it, I would have to accept that I did the wrong thing, and that would be too painful. Avoidance never brought me any good. A few years later, I realized that I couldn't live with my decision anymore. I had to accept that I was wrong. At this point, this mistake had caused me years of emotional strain trying to avoid it. And when I finally came to judge myself, it made me feel very ashamed and sad. Now, I don't want you to suffer as long as I did, and I have come up with a way to help you. I summarized the healing process that helped me to move on from the shame and guilt that followed my mistake in 3 vital steps, and I want to give them to you in hopes that they will help you too. The first step is acceptance. Accept that what you did has happened. I started doing this by thinking about it actively and trying to be present with it. I held the thought in my mind, embodied it, honored it. I reminded myself how it happened and that it's already over and done. This is the really scary part. It is very painful to revisit a negative experience, but you should focus on the positive side of it. While being present with this memory, you have to keep reminding yourself that you never have to go back and relive it again. That is a good thing. You can make the future better. So, accept. The next step is understanding. You should start feeling more calm after some time practicing acceptance. No matter what you did, it's over and you are safe in the present moment. Now you can start giving yourself some understanding. Surely your thought process made sense at the time. Remind yourself what your reasons were and in what state you were when you did this. You had a reason for what you did. Even if it doesn't make sense to you now, think of yourself back then as a friend and try to be more empathetic. Everybody makes mistakes, so understand. The final step is forgiveness. You might try many times to give yourself understanding and have faith that one day you truly will understand. This will not make whatever you did right, but it will give you the space to find forgiveness. We are capable of forgiving the people we care about for their wrongdoings, if only we can understand them. And so we can forgive ourselves, even if we don't feel like it at first. This step is essentially a mindfulness exercise. Start by thinking about forgiveness every time you experience the memory trigger. Say the following mantra to yourself. This happened, I accept it, and I understand it, but I have to move on so that I can do better. I forgive myself, and I love myself. I deserve to be forgiven. You do not have to remember it word for word, but you need it to be loving, kind, and forgiving. In the beginning, it will probably feel forced, but if you just stick to it, I promise you will see results. Once you are ready, find a safe place and share your experience. Do not be ashamed. Maybe you can talk to a parent or a friend about it. Maybe you will write it down in your journal. Communicate your story and talk about how you understand what happened and you are forgiving yourself. This will give you a sense of accountability. In your head, you are still susceptible to the pattern of avoidance, and you could go back to hiding this experience from your conscious mind. But now, you can no longer secretly beat yourself up for what happened. It is out in the world, and you have embodied a person that is strong enough to forgive and be better. Now, this feeling of forgiveness should start becoming real. Remember to always think about it when you remember the negative experience. Repetition is key, especially in the beginning. You have to rewire this experience from triggering a negative reaction to triggering acceptance in your life. This will help you to move on and correct your mistakes. Remember that you forgive yourself. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. How do you deal with negative memories? Do you think you can ever really be rid of them? Or you just have to learn to live with them and be better? Thank you so much. Until next week.